Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be my 2016 year in review survey. So this is just going to be talking about the things I've read, longest book, shortest book, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's just get into it. None of this is numbered, so I might start numbering it and then end up forgetting halfway through. Anyway, first one is, how many books did you read and did you meet your goal? I read 70 books in 2016, and no, I did not reach my goal because my Goodreads goal was to read 75. You might hear a dog barking. My window's open. We're gonna have to keep rolling. Number 2 is most read genre. The most read genre for me this year was definitely dystopian, fantasy, and historical fiction. I think that's what I read the most, and some mystery in there. I did read quite a few mystery books this year as well. Longest and shortest books you read. The longest book I read was Voyager by Diana Gabaldon, which comes in at 870 pages. And the shortest that I read was Origin of the Sphinx by Ray Wagner. And it's a, literally an origin of the Sphinx. It goes with the Sphinx series, but super enjoyable, really loved it, and that was only 68 pages. Favorite book published in 2016, that goes to 2. The first one should be no surprise at all, and that is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I also really adored And I Darken by Kirsten White. Favorite debut book in 2016 was, I'm kind of cheating because it debuts this year, 2017, but I read it in 2016. This is my favorite debut book I have read in 2016, and that is The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett by Chelsea Sidoti. Favorite book not published this year would have to go to 2 books, and that would be The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I loved The Fifth Wave and The Infinite Sea, but I read it at the beginning of this year. I adore both of these books. I honestly just adore this trilogy. It's one of my favorite trilogies ever. A favorite book that lived up to the hype for me, that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This book was extremely hyped when it first came out back in 2015? Yeah, 2015. I read it, and honestly, I think it's amazing. I love it, tropes and all. I think Victoria Aveyard still really does make it her own, so yes. The next one is a book that did not live up to the hype. Clockwork Princess. Of all the books I read that I was a little more disappointed in, this is the most hyped. This one, while it's still enjoyable, I really did enjoy it and I like it. I just don't care for, first off, Cassandra Clare's endings. I don't think they're my favorite. A book that felt like the biggest accomplishment, and this I have to go to, we'll go to Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. Favorite character for me, I gave that one to Hawthorne from The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett. Least favorite character would have to go to Alex from The Labyrinth Lost. I didn't really care for her. Again, if she wasn't who she was, the book would have no purpose. At least the story it told, it would have had no purpose, but maybe if they would have made her better, I could have been down for that. Next is favorite, most shocking book / moment. Everything that happened in Morning Star. Again, this is one of those stories, books, series, things where I try to, you like predicting things that happen. Never got it right. Next is favorite couple / OTP. A Court of Thorns and Roses by, I don't know why I forgot her name, Sarah J. Maas. I love Tamlin and Feyre. Next is the best written book you read this year. Last Star by Rick Yancey. This one for me was just because he has this thing where he was sarcastic and it was funny, but it was also heartbreaking, and I was just so in my emotions for this entire book. It broke my heart. I loved it. I loved the ending. And his writing was just so good. I didn't realize it until this one that I was like, fuck, your writing is amazing. Book that you push the most to people to read in 2016. Where did I shove you? I think I recommended this to anyone that asked. I was like, oh, you should read And I Darken. Oh, And I Darken. You want this? And I Darken. You need diversity? And I Darken. Favorite book cover of the year? A Study in Charlotte by, I was going to say Charlotte Holmes. A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. Honestly, I love it because it gives you that whole old school wallpaper feel, and it depicts the story so well. Favorite adaptation would have to go to Doctor Strange. If there was a book to movie adaptation, I honestly can't remember because I really did not like Allegiant. That movie was just atrocious. I was not for it at all. But Doctor Strange, while I don't read the comics, I loved that movie. What book made you cry the most? Where'd I shove you? Last Star. I cried like a baby. There was times where I just had to breathe, take a moment, cry, and then I could continue. What book made me laugh the most? We Know It Was You by Maggie Thrash. This book was so freaking funny. I love the characters. I love how, like, weird it is. A new favorite author I discovered this year, Rick Yancey. I now need to read, what is it called? The Monstromolid, whatever, that. My guilty pleasure of the year, well, I don't feel guilty about reading anything, but I feel like what would probably fit into this category would be Curse of the Sphinx series by Ray Wagner. And I'm saying this one just because it has romance, there's insta-loviness, but it has Greek gods. Favorite book I reread this year, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Guys, can I just say, I fell in love with the world all over again. First off, I never fell out of love, but my love was just on a whole nother level. And the last one is, were you happy with your reading year, and what will you do different in 2017? I was extremely happy with my reading year. I didn't read anything I didn't want to, hence why the majority, pretty much all of the books I read, minus a handful, I didn't really care for. But I read things I liked. I put down books I didn't care for. I just loved everything. I was in such a good mood for reading this year. And I really did listen to, like, my inner self when it came to, what do you feel like reading, Stephanie? What do you want? Read whatever you want. So I really am really happy about that, because everything was so good. And will I do anything different? The only thing I actually want to do different, because my Goodreads goal is the same, is try not to DNF books, because I want to see if I can do that. I'm usually a DNFer. What can I say? But anyway, I'll leave the questions down below. If there's any questions you would like to answer, comment down below. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.